Hello there. Welcome to the Harley Carnes podcast. Harley on the headlines for 2026. I'm really glad that you are there. Just a quick reminder as we get started to please help spread the word. Send an email to a friend. Share the link. Like, follow, subscribe. Thanks again. It is January 1st, New Year's Day, and I do have a thought or two about that coming up. But first, you may notice that the world continues regardless of the calendar, so there are a couple of headlines worth noting. There is a coal-fired power plant that is kind of caught in the middle of things. On the one hand, old clean air and efficiency requirements that have had that electricity factory on the chopping block for many months. The owners were ready to push the shutdown switch there near Fort Collins, Colorado, when it bumped into today's need for power. The Trump administration has recognized and is part of the pursuit of every available electron in support of the megalodon hunger of the artificial intelligence data center tidal wave. The administration has ordered coal plants there and in Indiana, Washington State, and Michigan to continue to operate, not to shut down, stay online, and feed the grid. Wind power and solar are poor answers to needs as great as the data center explosion demands. Building new nuclear power and oil and gas, and where possible, hydropower plants are all vastly more efficient ways to go. But coal is plentiful, still number one, and the Energy Department says now is not the time to turn our back on it. There is a population, increasingly two distinct populations in America these days. Forget about race and gender and tribes and the boxes those who want power over you would put you in. There is the population of producers and hard workers and entrepreneurs and forward thinkers who look into the future and make plans for crushing it. And there is the population that spends time answering surveys that ask, what are the priorities for what you want the government to do in the coming year for you? How do you want the government to take care of you? Well, the first group tends to answer that question in pretty simple terms. Stay out of my way. Don't make things harder. The second group lives with its hands out, not with its hands on the shovel, the hammer, or even the computer keys. Well, AP did the poll. The government is expected to continue to fix the illegal immigration mess, to save health care. Less than half say to save Obamacare. And 1/3 say bring down inflation and improve affordability. Most people don't really expect the government to be able to fix everything, which means people are pretty smart, even those who lean toward being dependent. The entrepreneur looks at what is within reach and makes the most of it, repurposing, thinking outside the box when necessary. In Kenya, Safari Martins, or Martin, is a barber. He cuts hair. He was also as poor as any church mouse once upon a time. Couldn't afford to buy a nice set of shears, electric clippers with various heads, and a good barber chair to get his customers perched just so. So he lets them sit on a block or a hardback chair, and he reaches for a shovel that has been sharpened razor edge sharp. Then he carefully approaches the thick hair of his customer and shoves the shovel through the nap. The hair falls away in clumps and little waves. His hands are talented. He has a deft touch, especially with something as heavy as a shovel. And when he's done, the hair is uniformly short, trimmed cleanly around the edges, and his customers are happy. If I tried such a thing, that customer would have leapt from the bricks missing an ear. I mean, come on. As Martin put it, the shovel, an iron, agricultural shears, and a wrench are just his unconventional tools for haircutting. Even better, Safari Martins has become a social media star in Kenya, which means he's making some money, and His haircuts cost 10 times what most men in Kenya pay for a good trim. Just to sit there and let a guy with a shovel cut your hair. Okay, now, a thought or two about all this New Year's business and resolutions and such. January the 1st is not the start of anything except the calendar. It did not change any realities aside from hangovers. We simply enjoy pretending that it does. The sun comes up the same way. Whatever weather was happening last night's probably still happening today. Your problems did not reset themselves, and you, your character, whatever it is. Here's the question for today. Same as for yesterday. What have you been postponing that you know you need to tackle? That question was present for you yesterday morning, too, and it'll be there tomorrow. Here's the point. Effective people are not starting anything today. They are continuing doing what works and discarding what doesn't the way they do every day. These are the highly effective people who have no need to make resolutions for obvious reasons. And here's number one. They are already resolved and have been for a while. They didn't wait for today. For them, it is not about posting intentions on a wall or in a journal. It's about executing the good habits they already have. The rest of people, us, maybe me, the rest, if we're not that, will fail. They will. You've heard the stats. The vast majority of people do not keep resolutions, and even the best intended only last 30 to 90 days. That's because the thinking that leads to the New Year's lie is this reality. If you need a calendar to authorize change, then the calendar is already in charge of you instead of the other way around. Forget about the calendar. What are you already doing that is working? Probably quite a lot. Do more of that, add more to it, develop more skills, not because the calendar tells you to do it, but because you want to and you need to do whatever is working better. You are halfway through a year that began in July, not the beginning of anything, or 1/3 of the way through a year that began in September. You see, the date is not the point. We created the calendar to help us mark the passage of the human construct of time, and sometimes we turn it into a crutch and have a party. If you need a reset, the fact is, it is the same reset you and I face every day. What baggage are we carrying that we have not examined? Don't obsess over goals. Goals are easy to come up with. Obsess over the work. Attack it, get it done every day, ignoring the calendar. Decide what burdens you do not need to carry and leave them on the roadside. When your load is lighter, you can move quicker, change direction easier when necessary. Don't say, this will be the year. This is already the year. What are you in the midst of doing? You see, when you feel vaguely optimistic about the mystery of 2026, in a strange way, you feel already productive. That's not real. We are replacing actual action with mood. Look, it's good to feel motivated. It is better to be moving with precision. Now, if you're like many people, kind of slogging through the molasses of good intentions and unmet goals, that probably started last year. And that can tell you a lot. And the guilt that comes with that is one of those bags you need to toss in the nearest ditch. January 1st doesn't give you permission to do anything. It simply reveals whether you were waiting for it to give yourself permission to do whatever that anything is. Making plans for the future is always important. Every day it's important. If you're already in action, that's just fine-tuning. It is what we are carrying into the new year that we're already doing that matters the most. So January 1st does not reset your life. It reveals it. It exposes whether you are already moving or not. You can use that. And remember, today isn't special because January 1st is here. Today is special because you are here. That's real, you know. I want to thank you today for joining us on this podcast. We're on several platforms. The podcast is growing. I appreciate the help, and I can't do it without you. So please like, follow, subscribe, share the link with people who follow you. Yeah, we have a new year coming. We're going to do a lot with it. Why? Because we're already doing a lot with life. And that is the key. I'm Harley Carnes. Let's do this again. How about on January 2nd? That'll work. Oh, yeah. No doubt.